Hey guys, it's Megan here, the Healing Foods Coach. I hope you're doing well. Before we jump into today's topic, just want to remind everybody that I am offering one-to-one coaching sessions. I am a certified nutrition coach. If you would like some one-to-one support, helping you come up with goals and strategies for improving your health, losing weight, getting to a better place in your health, go to the website, www.healingfoodscoach.com. I'm currently offering for a limited time, a discount for all new clients when you sign up for the initial assessment fee. All right, so today's topic is body dysmorphia. It is a thing. Well, what is it exactly? Some of you may have heard of it. Some of you may not. Some of you might know what it is. Some of you may not. I wasn't sure what it was until I heard somebody mention it the other day. I knew what it was, but I'd never heard it called body dysmorphia. Basically what it is, it's when how we view ourselves does not match up to what we actually look like. So sometimes, we may be out of shape, severely overweight or obese, definitely in need of a change in our lifestyle, but in our minds, we think we look amazing. Okay. Now that doesn't happen all that often. It does happen, and some people do feel like they're looking fantastic when they're really not. But mostly what happens is we've lost some weight, we're smaller, we're thinner, we're feeling better, we're getting healthier, but in our minds, we still look at ourselves and we still see the person who was overweight, obese, and not looking so good. And that can affect men and women, but it does tend to be women who struggle with this a lot more. And maybe it's because as women, we are the ones who often start dieting very young. We are the ones who feel we have to reach some unrealistic, unattainable goal of a certain size or a certain look when we're young girls. Sometimes it happens even before adolescence, certainly through adolescence. And so even if we've lost weight in those periods, we in our minds still see ourselves as the overweight or obese person that we once were. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about that is it is something that can absolutely happen, even if we've been following a carnivorous diet, even if we are eating to satiety, even if we've lost a whole bunch of weight, which a lot of us do when we start eating this way. Many of us need to lose weight. We are carrying far more than we require. And therefore, even when that weight has come off, we can still often doubt that we look any different. Let me give you an example. So up until recently, I would still think to myself, oh, I can't wear that cute dress because I'm still 100 pounds overweight. I'm still fat. Or I can't wear this outfit because it's going to make me look fat. It'd be one of my thoughts. So even though I've lost 100 pounds 4 years ago, or almost 4 years ago was when the 100 pounds finally came off. A lot of times over the next 3 years, I would still think to myself, oh, I can't wear that because I'm still a large person. I'm almost half my size. And those thoughts would still happen to me. And I think part of that is because I come out of a background of bulimia, of always feeling like I wasn't thin enough. Therefore, I wasn't good enough. And so even if the weight comes off, oftentimes how we view ourselves takes longer to catch up. I think, now I can't say for certain, but at least in my case, I think a big reason is because if we have struggled with body image and self-worth and struggling with feeling like we're not worthy because we're carrying some extra weight, or we actually are overweight or obese, it takes a long time for that mentality to be changed, especially if there's decades of it, which certainly was the case for me. I struggled with bulimia for over 30 years, a lot of highly restrictive eating patterns, a lot of addictiveness towards sugar and carbs, as well as binging and purging. feeling as though, well, I'm not good enough because I'm carrying extra weight. So the reason why I want to point that out is because it's not as uncommon as we might think. Many of us struggle with these things. And all I can say to you is that it does start to get better. And one of the things I've had to do is not, first of all, I don't weigh myself every day. I can't. Okay. For me, coming out of my dieting background, it's too triggering. And I would suggest highly that you probably don't do that either. What I do at least once a month is I get out my fabric tape measure and I measure my waist and my hips. Why? Because over the last couple of years, and especially within the last 6 months, those measurements are just varied by millimeters going slightly down, which tells me I'm staying lean. I'm not gaining weight. I'm not yo-yoing back up. And that was the other thing too, by the way. When I was restricting or binging and purging, my weight would keep going up and down. I wasn't eating to satiety. I was eating a highly processed, highly carbohydrate-based diet. And so when we come out of a background where our weight would go up and down all the time, that didn't help. Constantly weighing ourselves when our weight will fluctuate throughout the day anyhow, given our hormone status, whether it's our monthly cycle, whether we're going through menopause or even pregnancy, that all those things affect weight, as does stress, right? So that's already not really an accurate way to do it. So I had to stop constantly weighing myself. I did make a point of measuring my waist and my hips. Why? Because it showed me over a period of a few weeks at a go that I was slimming down. I was getting rid of the last of the body fat. And in fact, I was losing that weight, not gaining it. And therefore, I didn't have to be on the scale constantly. And so for me, that just reminded me that I have come off the weight gain that I put on. I had reduced my weight. I wasn't going back up. I wasn't still this large person that I used to be, where I was 100 pounds overweight. I had lost it. And it took me a couple of years plus to finally accept mentally and emotionally, I am not this overweight, obese person any longer. And how do I know that? Because when I go into a store to shop, instead of immediately looking for the extra large or large size clothing items, because those are way too big for me now, I actually can start with a small or a small to medium, knowing that confidently, this is actually going to fit because this is my size now. And I would try things on just to prove to myself, hey, this actually fits because I've lost the weight. But again, it took me time to get there. The other thing I've learned how to do is trying to wear the things that are going to be the most flattering and learning to accept that, you know what, I have an hourglass shape. And so I have curves. That doesn't mean I'm putting on weight. It doesn't mean I'm getting fat again. It means I have curves. So I need to dress to accentuate my shape as opposed to trying to hide everything under over large, oversized, baggy clothes, which, by the way, make you look like a giant box and is not flattering. And that's what I did for years when I was trying to starve myself in my teens, when I was feeling embarrassed because I'd gained so much weight, especially just before going on the carnivore diet. And it just made me look even bigger than I actually was. And so I had to learn to wear things that actually flatter my shape, that we're supposed to have a shape. We're not meant to be a stick, right? And the reason I wanted to share these things is that it took me time to get there. I did the tape measure thing because I had to remind myself, as kind of like proving myself to my own brain, I lost the weight. I am not obese any longer. And I did that. I still do that once every couple of months, just as a reminder. I did stop weighing myself regularly because as I came to accept our weight's going to fluctuate throughout the day, and especially for women through different hormonal changes as we get ready for our cycles, through our cycles, after our cycles, into menopause, post-menopause. There's so many fluctuations with hormones that affect our weight from day to day. And it was too triggering for me. But it is a thing. And it can be really tough when we're in it, when we still are convinced we're this overweight, obese person, that we're not that person anymore, but for some reason we still see ourselves that way. And that is a challenging thing to work through. And all I can say is that as I continue to work on improving my overall mental health, that was something that got better as my mental health improved. Okay, because the two things are very much tied together, and at least in my opinion. And so if you are still struggling, what I would suggest, if I can encourage you guys, and this is for women and men, but again, it tends to be more women that struggle with this than men do, is get out a tape measure, measure your waist and your hips. Okay, think back to where you were when you started this process. And maybe once a month, maybe I wouldn't even necessarily do more than once a month, but at least once a month, take those measurements to confirm to yourself that either A, at the very least, you're not really going up, but B, more likely those numbers are coming down because you are, in fact, losing the excess fat on your body. And therefore, you are not the person you once were, right? But it will take some time. We have to retrain our brains to think differently, to realize that that's who we were, but we're eating a much better way now, and we're losing the inflammation, and we're getting rid of the excess weight, maybe slowly, but it's happening. We have probably more energy. We're more physically active, whether that's exercising at the gym, whether we're taking daily walks, whether we're swimming at the pool, whatever it is, whether maybe we're doing Pilates or yoga or something else. We are moving more. And those are all positive, amazing things. And I wanted to share this with you guys and make this quick video because it is something that I still have struggles with sometimes. I really do. I'm not saying I'm completely over it and I'm perfect and I never have those thoughts. Of course I do. I made a point of standing up. And this is one of my favorite tops, but I made a point of standing up because, first of all, because I wanted to stand just for something different, because I can now, but also because it is forcing me to be outside of my comfort zone, where oftentimes I would spend so much time thinking, well, I don't want anyone to see me from like the waist below because I might feel bloated or puffy or fat today. And it's a reminder to myself that I am not the overweight, obese person I once was 4 years ago. That's not me. I'm different. I've changed. I'm healthy. And so I'm doing this because I want to say that today I feel great about how I look. I know I'm healthier. I know I'm in a better place. However, sometimes those thoughts still come back into my brain. You know, that little demon whispering, sitting on the shoulder, whispering in the ear, oh no, you're getting big again. Now I'm able to hear it as background noise that I can shut out or tune out with other things. But it's hard when we're in the moment. And just to remind myself, hey, I've done great. I'm at a good place. So what? So what if I, stay exactly this shape forever? You know what? I wanted to share that because that is sometimes that's something I do struggle with. Coming from the eating disorder background that I have, to be confident enough to stand up and say, hey, this is me. Am I as thin or as toned as some of the other people out in this space? No. And will I be? Probably not. But I'm here and I'm so much healthier and I'm feeling amazing. And I'm actually wearing something that flatters as opposed to giant, oversized, loose, baggy stuff that I try to hide my body that, by the way, makes you just look bigger like a giant square. I feel great and I'm in a good place. And so this is kind of a challenge for me personally, to have the confidence to get up and stand before you like this, but also to say, guys, I totally get it if that's where you are, if that's how you're feeling, because I still have those feelings from time to time. I no longer ask my husband, honey, does this make me look fat? Because I'm not fat. At a very, very healthy weight. But that doesn't mean those thoughts don't occasionally strike my mind. And that's more fighting through the old lies, that I would, and negative thoughts I would tell myself, not based in reality, but those were the things I used to think. And so I'm getting better at not having those thoughts, but when they creep in, I know they're lies and I can ignore them or push them away or dispute them within my mind. And that's why I wanted to make this video. So wherever you may be at, if that is something you're struggling with, wow, I totally can understand. And all I can tell you is that just keep eating this carnivorous way of eating, because for one, you're going to heal yourself. You're going to help improve your mental process. Your mental health is going to get better. Does that mean you'll never struggle? Of course not. I think for whatever reason, especially as women, it seems we tend to be a bit insecure, but you are fabulous and amazing wherever you're at, because you are doing everything you can to be as healthy as possible. That is all that matters. And continue to eat this way. And I promise you, your brain will eventually catch up to where you're at physically. So I really hope that this is helpful to you guys. That's the whole reason for it. That's the whole point behind it. That's the whole purpose of it. I super love your guys' support and your encouragement. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your days to watch this video. Again, if you're looking for any sort of one-to-one coaching or support, go ahead and book where am I going? There. Go ahead and book a session with my website. There it is down at the bottom. You can book those sessions now. As I say, I have a very limited time offer, special discounts for new clients when they sign up for initial assessments, so we can get healing together. And if body dysmorphia is something you are struggling with, I've been there. And sometimes I still have those moments. Don't want anyone to think I'm perfect or that I'm all over it and it's done and I've arrived, because not the case. Okay. I could put on one of my favorite tops tomorrow and have a mental breakdown. I hope I don't, but the potential is there. So I completely get it, but it does get better. It does get easier, and it becomes less of a controlling factor in my life. So thank you guys for your support and for watching. You guys are awesome. And I look forward to the next video with more content. Until then, guys, all the best. Take care. All my love. Bye for now.